Fight for your salvation. Welcome all. I pray that all is well. Now, people often believe that all they need to do to be saved is to believe and be a good person, whatever that means. But in this video, I want to address this falsehood and clear some of the gray areas around the word in, the biblical sense. Now, no one wants to hear that despite everything they do to be seen as good in the eyes of Yahuah, it's not enough. No one wants to hear that they might need to make major changes in their lives. And absolutely no one wants to hear that simply accepting salvation through the blood of Yahushua, or Jesus, is not enough. But iron sharpens iron. And we shouldn't be afraid to speak up when it's for the purpose of edification. So please, let no one take offense. Part of truly caring for people is being honest with them and listening to them when they bring honest concerns and criticisms to our attention. Now, Yahushua says those who aren't offended by him are blessed. And he's the truth, so being offended by truth is like being offended by him. Anyway, let's begin with our first hindrance. 1. Refusing to stop doing illegal things while making the excuse that Yahuwah will forgive them no matter what. No one is perfect. Sin lives within our flesh, and fighting against our flesh and the sin that dwells within it is a constant battle. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For the will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. That being said, we should strive to the best of our ability to follow Yahuwah's laws, statutes, and commandments, so that we aren't constantly begging for his forgiveness because we've knowingly sinned against him. This is one of the things Yahuwah was constantly doing, therefore rendering the law ineffective. We must also keep in mind that doing something without knowing, it's still sin, but it's different from knowingly breaking the rules of Yahuwah. However, once a person is informed of their error and understands why they did what they did was wrong, if they decide to continue with the offense, they're no longer acting out of ignorance. It's willful sin. Do not heap sin upon sin. Our Yahuwah does not like that. Stop doing the things that you shouldn't. Because even though our Yahuwah is forgiving and loving, he also gets angry at times and will use whatever means necessary to teach someone who belongs to him what he needs to teach them. Usually it'll be the thing that they love to do, like the bad thing that they love will be exactly what he uses to punish them. A person who loves a particular sin, that's what is used to punish them. You love this so much, okay, have it, but then the consequence of having it is what you pay. Make it easy on yourself. Do what you ought to do and flee from the things that you ought not to. 2. Claiming to have faith but lacking the willingness to back it up. This is a major problem within the body of Mashiach. Many people don't even know what this truly means. Works are not simply a matter of following laws, statutes, and commandments. That is something we all must do regardless. It should be part of our very nature, and nothing we do naturally can be considered a work. Breathing is natural. We do it without thinking. Keeping our Yahuwah's rules should be the same. A work is exactly what the scriptures tell us it is. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith, and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked, and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto him, Depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth that profit? Even so, faith if it hath not works is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I'll show thee my faith by my works. Thou believest that there is one Yahuwah, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble, which is to say, big deal. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed Yahuwah, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called a friend of Yahuwah. Ye see then how by works a man is justified, not by faith only. Pause. This is to say, if Abraham had said, yes, I believe Yahuah, I believe, but he wasn't willing to make the sacrifice of Isaac, if he wasn't even willing to put that forward, how could he say, I believe you? It stayed in Abraham's mind that even if he did sacrifice Isaac, Yahuah must be capable of bringing him back, because he had already promised that everything would come from Isaac, or everything, the promise would come through Isaac. So Abraham must keep in his mind that if I believe you, I have to even be able to be willing, not just able, but be willing to do something that seems contrary to what you've told me, because you already told me the one thing. And if you don't lie, which Yahuah doesn't, then that can't be untrue. So that no matter what circumstance occurs, it will always be this way. So even if Isaac dies, it must be that you'll be bringing him back, because you've already told me that through him come the promises. Sorry, small tangent. Ye see then how by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Likewise, also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works when she had received the messengers and had sent them out another way? For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Pause. Just on the Rahab thing. She had told the messengers that they already knew that the town would be taken over, and that they had seen from the 40 years spent in the wilderness, and from the conquering of the land across the Jordan, and from the destruction of Egypt, that Yahuah was on their side, and that nothing that these people, Yasharal, did would not prosper. So she was like, I already know you're going to take Jericho. So, to prove that she knew it, she helped them. She helped them because she knew that they'd win. You don't help someone you think is going to lose. You don't ever want to be on the losing side. No, she wanted to be on the winning team. So she helped them. Anyway. Works refers to the action needed in order to prove your faith. I can't say, I love someone, but I'm never willing to spend time or make sacrifices for them. I can't say, I believe Yahuah, but I'm unwilling to actually show that I love him by moving against the things that he hates and towards the things that he loves. Period. Oftentimes, works without faith and faith without works are found in religious circles. Pause. Pure religion and undefiled before Yahuah and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. I just wanted to read that because once we get into this, I don't want to be I don't want what actual biblical religion is to be undefined, because it literally defines it. Anyway, they're found in religious circles, yet the Bible tells us what true religion or Yahliness looks like I just read. And it has nothing to do with shouting pastors, congregants speaking in tongues, tithes, prayer beads, statues, singing on television, or wearing small symbols of our Savior's horrific death. Okay, I'm about to go on a tangent. Let's move on. Number 3, loving neither one's neighbor nor oneself. Love is complicated, but I'm in the process of creating, and uploading an entire playlist dedicated to examining, analyzing, and illustrating true love. So, if you need a better understanding of love, it'll be worth the watch when it's finally uploaded. Many people do not know how to love themselves, which makes it impossible to truly love another person. Now, we discussed this in a previous video. People don't know how to love themselves. One, because they weren't shown love, and the love that they were shown was selfish love. So, that's a hard work to undo, but we're working on it, right? Every false attempt at love is usually motivated by one's own selfish desires, which is precisely why people fail to love either their neighbors or themselves. The saddest part of this simple truth is that the Mashiach identifies this as one of the most important commandments. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love Yahuah thy Elohah with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Now, please search the scriptures. True love is explained and easily identified in various ways by those who lived before us. Pause though. Let me just say that not everyone is your neighbor. Someone in the Gospels asked Yahushua who would be considered one's neighbor. And Yahushua gives an excellent example. Go back and read it. But let me just say, not everyone is your neighbor. Many people are still being used by your adversaries, the devils. One thing I've noticed in the Bible is that even while its authors encourage love, they encourage it among the brethren first and foremost. Yes, be kind to everyone, but not everyone is your brother. How can you be you can't be brother or sister if you don't have the same father. If my father is Yahuah and your father is not Yahuah, it's whoever else you worship. We're not siblings. Sorry. But yes, in the epistles and in the gospels, it speaks a lot about how to treat a fellow believer, one who walks the same path, but little about how to treat someone on a different path, or who walks in complete wickedness. But it does say that while a person is committing sin that leads to death, you shouldn't even pray for them. I mean, it sounds harsh, but when you think about it, Yahuwah is not going to listen to a prayer like that. Even David said that. He said for all those who were wicked towards him, he would pray for them, but that his prayer would come back into his bosom. Yahuwah was like, I'm not answering that. No. So that alone tells us that as long as someone isn't walking according to the way, they don't receive the same treatment from us who are. That doesn't mean we treat them badly, no. But the way you treat someone who is your brother is a different way than you treat someone who's not your brother. Not out of hate, no. Because if we hated them, we'd be encouraging them to live their best lives and to do as they wanted, instead of taking a step back so that Yahuwah can handle them in the way he sees fit, in an effort to soften their hearts and let the scales fall from their eyes. Telling the truth and stepping back when people refuse to change isn't hate. It's acceptance of their decision, but an unwillingness to come into agreement with evil. We can't walk with someone who's going in a different direction than us. Otherwise, we'll never reach our destinations. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify, because a person who lacks understanding of the scriptures or simply wants to manipulate will use that against a soft-hearted person all day long. Moving on. 4. A refusal to examine oneself. I just want to read something. Thou therefore which teachest another, teachest thou not thyself? Thou that preachest a man should not steal, dost thou steal? Thou that sayest a man should not commit adultery, dost thou commit adultery? Thou that abhorrest idols, dost thou commit sacrilege? Thou that makest thy boast of the law, through breaking the law, dishonorest thou Yahuwah? For the name of Yahuwah is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you, as it's written. This is a huge problem amongst believers and non-believers alike, but especially amongst believers, seeing as we're supposed to be doing this and walking in humility because we know the value of these things. We can often look at other people and easily identify all the mistakes they're making and the changes they need to make to be better. Yet, we never stop to do the same for ourselves. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured unto you. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote that's in thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote that's in thy brother's eye. Everyone needs to examine themselves. How can you help someone else improve when you aren't even seeking to improve yourself? And I know it's much easier said than done, but make the effort. It is important to turn away from bad habits, behaviors, and desires. Come on. We are in a fight for our salvation. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yahuwah already does the heavy lifting. I mean, Yahushua, his yoke is easy and his burden is light. The least we can do is desire to be better and work toward achieving that growth. 5. Refusing to submit and trust in our Eloah no matter what happens. Submit yourselves therefore to Yahuwah, resist the devil, and he'll flee from you. We'll not always understand Yahuwah's decisions and plans, but we must always trust that he knows exactly what he's doing. We need to humble ourselves and accept that he knows more than we do and will protect us as we follow him. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Whether you realize it or not, Yahuah has ultimate control. He has no equal, and everything that exists was created by him and for his perfect will. Thou art worthy, O Yahuah, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. Believe him! Next, 6. Everyone lives only for this world and its pleasures, instead of preparing their souls and spirits for the next. What am I talking about? Gaining the whole world but forgetting our Yahuah. We should be storing up treasures that cannot be stolen or rust away. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. This means spending less time working to achieve power and success, amassing money, trying to be liked by peers, desiring fame, and generally seeking material comfort. Results are not found in places where you're comfortable, so get comfortable being uncomfortable. We must be tested in the fire like pure gold. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahuah is my Elohah. Never forget that these bodies are merely temporary homes for our souls and spirits, and that everything we do in the name of Yahuah, our Elohah, is for spiritual edification. It's the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. 7. Do not fight against the Ruach when he tries to transform you. Do not quench the spirit. Often people who walk in the Ruach move forward without fully understanding what they're doing or why. They simply know that these things must be done. Often, others don't understand what these people are doing and criticize them. Mashiach explains this to us. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh and whither it goeth. So is everyone that's born of the Spirit. Quench not the Spirit. Do not work against our Elohah and his will by ignoring or resisting the instructions of the Ruach. Again, this comes back to faith and demonstrating your faith through your actions. We as worshippers of Yahuah must be transformed. This is the ultimate goal. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahuah. Reflect on the issues mentioned in this video and make the necessary changes. Then Yahushua said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. And that's that. But until next time, Hallelujah.